So
how do you relate that to back to school?
Whoosh. Boy, back to school is, as far as I'm concerned, Ronnie, that is the biggest threat to the country right now.
Listen to Mark Golding.
Yeah.
This is the biggest threat to the country right now.
Yeah.
The lockdown of schools.
Absolutely. It is going to have serious consequences in the near term, medium term, and long term. I mean, we have hundreds of thousands of children who have been effectively without any education for nearly 2 years. There needs to be, I think, a real program, well-funded, to remediate that situation and get those. They may have to repeat a year. They may need additional inputs to bring them back up the curve. They've lost so much. We have to do something about it. Now, in terms of back to school for children, it is not fair to children to keep them out of school. They cannot, first of all, for the primary school and early childhood, they're not even able to be vaccinated because there's no vaccine approved for them. So to say that they can't have face-to-face schooling, when you know that effectively means for many of them they can't have any education, when they cannot be vaccinated, how is that morally justified? Teachers can protect themselves. Or if they don't want to take the vaccine, they take the risk. But there should be face-to-face education in a way that minimizes the risk. You know, to the extent that we can have some of the classrooms less dense. I don't know whether they have to go to a shift system until we've sorted this out. You know, and we, of course, sanitize the children. We encourage them to wear masks. All of those things need to be worked through. But there must be a way of doing it.
The People's National Party, as I understand it, endorses the principle of subsidiarity, where you don't the top, the center doesn't take decisions that are appropriately for the community.
Yeah.
Here's the situation. No, the Prime Minister said that laid out certain guidelines for back to school, but there's confusion. I'm aware personally, because of responsibilities I have, of 2 schools on the same compound. One has 600 students. The other has 1,000 students. One can start back, but the other can't start back. Mark Golding, that's nonsense.
It is nonsense. And I agree with you that we should empower the
schools
boards and the
local Ministry of Health
to work out the parameters with as long as certain broad principles are adhered to.
Clearly.
And I do think that the risk to the country of not having the children in school is greater and more damaging than the risk of COVID infection. First of all, it is well recognized that young people, especially children, are not particularly high risk when it comes to COVID. And their parents and grandparents should be encouraged to get vaccinated. And the children should be told to encourage their parents to do so as well.
Should the government make every effort to secure the vaccine that is apparently now, soon, or is available for children?
Yes, I know, that was another mess, because what happened was the Pfizer vaccine, which is the one that is approved for children 12 and up, was brought here. It should have been used to vaccinate school children. That started, and then they decided to let adults use it. And then they didn't manage it properly. So a lot of adults got their first doses and were scheduled for their second doses. And when that date came, the Pfizer had finished. So they haven't been able to get their second doses. And many of the children have not been able to be vaccinated because it has run out. So yes, they're trying now, scrambling around. And I want to thank the government of Suriname that has made made some of their supply available to us. Wonderful cooperation.
So that's
South-South.
That's a kind of regional cooperation.
Absolutely.
So,
and we've had it with Barbados, we've had it with Dominica.
Yes.
It's been very positive.
Yes, that's good. That's good. The overall, then, we're talking about people are talking about getting back to normal. What's a new normal to be like, Mark Golding?
Well, the new normal is that COVID is going to become another virus that is there in the society. It's not going to disappear. And we're going to have to manage it properly. And that requires personal responsibility. Know yourself. Make sure that keep yourself fit. Try and make sure that your immunity is strong. And don't be silly about, if you're in large gatherings and so on, if you feel comfortable wearing a mask, wear a mask. Don't get too close to anybody when you're talking, all this kind of thing. And vaccination is going to be part of it as well. And for those who don't believe in it, well, fine, but you take your risk. Don't expect that, you know, the society is going to continue to operate in a shutdown basis because you are not protected. You know, you've had your opportunity. We have to get back to some kind of normal living because too many businesses are going to go under. Too many industries are going to collapse. Too many people are going to suffer from unemployment and low levels of income. We have to get back to a more normal operation.
Mark Golding is the leader of the opposition, president of the PNP. When we come back from this break on the public eye on the bridge, what does he think about the state of the Jamaican economy? People are hurting. The cost of living is out of control. The foreign exchange rate is so jerky, up and down. And really, under our present system of political economy, I'm going to ask him, really, is there a basis on which the people of South St. Andrew can really look forward to a bright future? And then finally, I want to declare him for you. What's the basis on which people listening to us in the diaspora, yearning for engagement in Jamaica, what can they see in the People's National Party? This is the Public Eye on the Bridge. Soon come. This is the Public Eye and the Open Mind on the Bridge 99, linking you with our Jam Radio in the tri-state area of New York. Talking with Mark Golding, president of the PNP and leader of the opposition. Mark Golding, people in Jamaica suffer. The cost of living, up to this morning, the price of crackers gone up, I'm told.
All baked products.
All baked products, yes. We get the news this morning that remittances are to households are down from what they were, even if the overall level seem to be holding with an increase. Where's this going, sir? What can you suggest? What is the antidote?
Well, we have been very lucky as a country that the stimulus in some of our major diaspora countries, you know, the stimulus of those governments has helped to enable our people to step up and improve and strengthen what they already have been doing to keep their relatives in Jamaica.
Lifeline.
That's a lifeline. But it's not obviously sustainable because the stimulus in those countries is being tapered off. And we'll no doubt soon revert to what we might say are the more normal levels. Obviously, we have to try and get the economy back to normal. I believe agriculture is a key thing to strengthening the economy overall. We need to diversify away from being too reliant on particular industries like tourism, which is so prone to shocks and disturbances from external factors. And we need to really focus on food security and water as well.
Do you see any signs of that in terms of policy or the effectuation of policy? What I see is that we have swapped sugar for tourism with the same pattern, that the majority of the money, the profit, is exported from this country. Is that a basis for economic revival? Does that give any hope to the people you represent or I used to?
No, it doesn't. And that model of development is really inadequate. And the truth is that we need to find ways that we empower small farmers. You know, farm roads need some attention. Water supplies for irrigation need some attention. Storage for product in times of glut. We need to be able to take some of the market risk off of the small farmers. The PC banks, they've been increasingly bureaucratized. I'm told by small farmers that they find it very difficult to access credit now because of the new requirements that are being imposed on them. We need to look at that and reduce some of the hurdles so they can access credit. You know, and titling, as you've said, and the titling is another critical area where so many people in Jamaica have occupied land for extended periods of time. It may be family land or land that they've bought, but they don't have a registered title for.
Dead assets.
So that, I think, a very progressive policy around agriculture and rural development is very, very critical. And then we need to focus on the people of the country and strengthening the human resource capacity of the people. And the education system is, you know, and you have been a former Minister of Education and tackled it well. More needs to be done at the early childhood and primary level to raise standards.